Hey guys, hey Pedro's up in Oregon. Told you we might have some Oregon on here. Chase, good to see you, buddy. The Clark's in the house. Okay, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna share the screen here after a little bit. I was just talking to Josh and Dave, and I was like, "How did we meet?" Because I'm meeting them in person for the first time, and I was impressed by the answer. And he says, "I was networking, and I cold called Lynn." Yeah, and so they connected, made started a relationship, and at some point you probably invited him, hey, we do this thing every Wednesday.
Group and let him get to know you.
Yeah, so you passed some sort of test.
I guess.
Because otherwise you wouldn't have gotten that in done. So that's cool. So we like the people obviously that are in here and love sharing them with you guys. So I'm excited about this. Today is a topic we all need to get better at. We're constantly working on, right? Like I own my mornings pretty well. But then my day goes to shit. It just does. It's a very reactionary business. I got things on my calendar that I like move to the next day, move to the next day. So I need to get better at this. I kind of like the topic. I like the discussion around, having a plan for your day. So we're excited for that. So we are recording this and I've skimmed through your slides. I'll share the slide deck with you, you guys, if you want that. I'll post it up in our Team Limitless Facebook group. But Josh and Dave with Remarkable Mortgage, come up here, give us an introduction, tell us a little bit about you. This is as you guys know, we're a family team. So we got a dad and son here. So yeah, pretty awesome. Oh, look. You got a couple of you got name tags now? Where'd that come
Ask
from?
it.
Because I know when mom says, "Oh, we really need name tags," she means, "Will you go get name tags?"
Yeah.
Go.
All right, hey Kylie, Dawn, good to see you. You guys can turn on your cameras for a second, say hi. And I'll start the screen share and we'll rock and roll. Come stand in front of the camera, guys.
Yeah.
I got a little clicker for you here too.
I'm gonna put Josh in charge of technology.
Do you have a video in the slides at all? I thought I need the audio.
Cool. We're going to just do a little bit introduction of who we are and what Remarkable is. Very short, but I've been in the industry around about 20 years. It'll be 20 years in just this next year. Okay. I had a background in financial services, worked with Transamerica. I used to, run 401k plans, that kind of stuff, individual investments. And whenever we had someone who would need a mortgage, and we talk to people all the time about the financial situation of what is, what's your interest rate at? Oh, it's at this. And you can refinance, you can free up some money. And we were given someone to take them to a referral, that we'd send our mortgages to. Well, I walked into his office one day, and it was in Utah County. I walked in his office one day and I heard him talking. I knew his receptionist. I heard him talking, and he was talking to one of his loan officers, and this is what came out of his mouth. Now, these are back in the days when, you could charge up to 5 points on a loan. It was legal, and people made money on what the points they charged, not on the percentage of the loan like we do now. And he said, you know what? Get them to accept the highest rate you can, make the most money you can, and you're never gonna see him again anyway.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
geez.
Yeah. I walked out, went to my branch manager and said, what's it take to get a mortgage license? And so that's where mine started, right? That's where mine started, is at a small little broker out of Bountiful. To be honest with you, that's all I don't even remember the name. Okay. But I went from there, weaseled my way into a job with Washington Mutual, and then was taken over by Chase and left there, went to Axiom Financial, which is one of the bigger mortgage names in the state, and was there for several years. We came to Remarkable. Mark Day is the president of Remarkable Home Loans. It's the Remarkable up there. His wife came up with that, not him. He's not that creative. He's not. Okay. So we had worked together at a branch that was part of Axiom Financial, and we would sit there and just talk about what would we do if we ran our own thing? How would we do this? How would we market? How would we? I want a vacation for 2 weeks, and it was always okay. Whoever has the guts to do it first. Oh, Mark had the guts to do it first. I want a vacation. I came back home, or came back, went to my office, and the office was empty. Mark's office was empty. I called him up and I said, "What'd you do?" Started my own thing. I'm glad you called, because I told our branch manager I wouldn't pilfer anybody, but now that you've called, it took him about 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes to actually convince me to come with him. about 4 months in, 4 to 6 months in, I don't know exactly, been around for about 4 years now. He wrote the check to take us out of a red to the black, and it's been a pretty good thing since. We're not a huge brokerage, but we fluctuated between, you know, a dozen and 20 employees, depending on business needs and things like that, okay? But the other thing about me, and I'm gonna introduce Josh here in a second, but the other thing about me is you guys as realtors, I don't know how many of you actually use this, but there are designations you can earn and things like that. And how I know what designations you might have or might not have, what I think are important. There are about 5,000 loan officers in the state of Utah, okay? There are 20 of us that are called certified mortgage advisors, okay, in the entire state. And what that does is I've done a lot of studying regarding the market itself and how the market works. To give you an example, and this is part luck, part what I knew what I was doing. There is a particular builder, builds a lot out where I live in Eagle Mountain, that right now we're giving $10,000 to $15,000. A lot of builders are doing this. Use our preferred lender to get $10,000. You might ask me later on how I got the deal when they were giving 10,000 to the preferred lender and they, you know, and I didn't get the 10,000. Okay, we'll talk about that later, but it has a lot to do with that CMA, that certified. So we're going to get into what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to introduce Josh. This is how I always introduce him. Well, he wouldn't put it on the slide, but I was going to put, you know, CMA, all this kind of stuff on mine, and then underneath on his name, right? Smarter than his dad, which he is. But he's going to cover a part of this and what we part of what we do as the introduction is when we talk about the perfect agent week. Well, the first part's we're going to talk about our perfect week and what we do to facilitate your perfect agent week. Okay, go ahead, Josh.
So I know that sometimes people come in and I've had it, we've had, you know, people come into our company as well that have given us, you know, different like business coaches, you know, and they give us this rah, bunch of motivational quotes, and that's kind of it, you know, and so we don't, you know, you can insert your favorite motivational quote here, you know, motivate yourself. But really what we want to do is give you an actual roadmap. You know, and everyone has their own plan. You know, you find things that work for you in your business, obviously. But especially when it comes to people either starting out or you kind of don't have any structure and you're trying to figure out how to, you know, grow some business, trying to get some more business in the door. And, you know, we're going to give you a specific plan of things you can do that, you know, they're proven things that will grow your business. So we'll talk more about where this comes from. It's from a company called Fresh Agent Marketing. It's run by a guy named Scott Hudbath, and his 4th month, it took him 4 months in the business to consistently be doing 10-20 deals a month. And he's been doing that for the last couple decades. You know, so he knows what he's doing, been in the industry a long time. But not only does he, you know, share his own opinions, but also that of top agents in the country, right? He brings them on and he does coaching, weekly webinars, and provides resources for agents. And we'll talk about that. That's something that we've partnered with Scott to provide those things. But we'll talk about this real quick. We have our perfect week. You know, we base ours off of what we call the 4 C's of success, right? The first one is connection, and then commit, contract, and communication, right? So we'll go over this real quick. So connection is obviously the very beginning. When you get a referral, you make the connection, and you initially get that person pre-approved, right? That's the first thing that happens. That the referral from the real estate agent, you know, say, hey, you know, got this loan officer, he's awesome, he'll take care of you, and that's that first connection that we have with that person, and that starts our side of the process. And we'll get that pre-approval, and we continue to talk with that person. But the other part of this is that we want to help you, and this is where we're taking things off of the agent's plates, right? We don't want you wasting your time with, not that it's wasting time, but we want you to be using your time most effectively by spending it with people who need your attention most. And we'll help you figure that out. That's part of the pre-approval. That's part of our process. What we do is that we have, my clicker's not working. That's
because I touched something.
Oh, you're good. You're totally fine.
Leave it up to me to open
You're
chat.
good.
There
There
we
we go. Okay. Okay, it's actually okay, it's in the book. I thought we put it up here, but we did not yet. But that's okay. So we have this, the way we do our pre-approval, it's split up into these 3 levels. That, level 1 is someone who, probably just sold a house, 20% down. And solid credit score, solid income, and they're ready to buy a house right now, right? Their pre-approval takes 30 minutes. Or level 2 is someone who, maybe is a first-time home buyer, has a decent amount down, maybe they don't have, super solid income, it's gonna take a little bit, or, they don't have the greatest credit, and they need a little bit of coaching, it may take a couple of months, right, before they're ready. And then level 3 is just someone who's probably not gonna be ready anytime soon, but obviously we don't throw those people out, those people get taken care of. We'll do the coaching on our side with credit and talk about saving more money, things like that, help them get ready to buy a home, right? But we wanna help you know who to spend your time most with, who are those level 1s that need your time and your attention the most, right? And that's hopefully something that we're taking off your plate. And then on Thursdays, this is part of our structure as well. We make these calls Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, we call people who are pre-approved and looking. We're calling their house, right? And the purpose of that is to obviously answer the questions, and sometimes shopping can take a little bit. We'll answer their questions, make sure their pre-approval is up to date. But if anything changes, do something dumb like buy a car, or that's changes their situation a little bit. We want to mitigate those and make sure that everything is still going smoothly. Because a lot of things can happen in that process. But the biggest thing is we want to keep that connection, because that is when shopping happens. And that's a client that you've worked hard for as a realtor. We work hard for to get their pre-approval, get them ready. And we want to make sure that we have their commitment to us to do business, right? So, protecting our commission, your commission, right? And then on Tuesdays, this is another one of those things we call everyone involved in the process. This is when someone has a contract, right? That's what the contract is, under contract. We call absolutely everyone involved, both of the borrowers, the title agent, insurance agent, seller's agent, and we call everyone not only to make sure that the process is going smoothly, but that they also have a script that we use, a time-tested script that we talk to them, but we're continuing to grow our network and continuing to try and get more business, more referrals. And it's kind of weird. Title people or insurance people will get a call from us and they're like, "Why are you calling?" Nothing. We just want to make sure that everything's going great. This process is going well. We appreciate your help. You're awesome. You're really taking care of our client. We really appreciate your help. Awesome, thank you. And hopefully we're doing that every week and we'll continue to grow a relationship with that person. And that's the purpose, is to make sure that everyone not only growing our business, but everyone's on the same page. And then we call you as the buyer's agent. You don't have to make pipeline calls or worry about it unless you want to. You don't have to worry about waking up on Monday morning. You're like, where's that appraisal at? Where's this process at? What are we doing? We'll call you. We make sure that we want to take things off of your plate again, because you have so many other things to worry about as a realtor. Where can we help you? Right. And the last thing is communication. Wednesdays, we call our entire database every 3 months. 2 letters of the alphabet each week, and that gets us through everyone every 3 months. And the only thing that we do is we call them, hey, we helped you with your mortgage, helped you with buying your home. Your realtor was so-and-so. We really appreciate your business. Thank you so much. We hope you feel like we did a good job. Yeah, thank you so much. You really helped. It was awesome. Awesome. Can we ask you one thing? Can we count on you that if you know of anyone that's looking to buy, sell, or refinance, that you'll let us know? We'd love to help out your friends and family as well. We'd love to, to continue to be your go-to guy. Yeah, totally. Awesome. Thank you. 30 seconds, minute phone call, super quick, once every 3 months to keep that connection and, continue to farm our database, because we know that referrals are the #1 kind of lead that you can get, right? Oh, and this is a funny, we found this, 90% of people say they've used the same realtor again, but only 70% actually do. And why is that?
They don't keep in touch.
Yeah, right. We're not marketing enough to our database. We're not talking to these people. And we'll share another statistic later, but it's so much less costly per lead to get from your current database, people that are already clients, than it is to go out and buy new ones and obtain new ones, right? So I'm gonna hand this over to Dave and him continue on.
Must be that big, right?
It's on the side.
Oh, the side there, wow. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Okay. You guys ever run into, Lynn, you ever run into bottlenecks in your business?
Bottlenecks in my business. I don't know, my business just flows smoothly. all
Don't
the
use lemon
time.
take down.
Okay, but who I need to use as an example here. Okay, so she's not.
Somebody on Zoom.
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this a little bit, this is just to go through really quickly, and it's in your booklets. And everybody who's on Zoom, like I said, we're gonna send these out to you, we even have the booklet in, we can send out, not just the slide deck, but basically we'll go through this really quickly, where bottlenecks might happen in you guys' business. So traffic, conversion, follow-up, CPA call to action, right? So just go through this whole thing, I'm just gonna put them up there. Okay, these are just ideas. And there's notes, I believe, in the book we put, if you can put other ideas that you use. Who in the world here knows who Joe Girard is?
Joe Gerard, is he the car salesman dude? Yeah.
Okay, this is really
Guinness
funny.
Book of World Records, right?
Guinness Book of World Records. A couple things, one of the things that doesn't say up here, but he talks about is actually, I don't know, we typo, because it should be law of 250. His basic thing was, look, every person I sell to will have at least 250 people that'll come to their funeral. That kind of, it's sort of morbid, right? But that's what you say. Come to their wedding, come to their funeral, whatever, right? Okay, so 250. And so I apologize, I walked back and forth.
No, that's right. I was just saying, yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at. Is he on camera?
Yeah, so, but he had this thing, and this was before Facebook. He would actually send out cards that would say, I like you, thanks, Joe. Sounds sort of creepy to me in today's society. We actually started doing that when Josh talks about, when we started doing this, a lot of this comes from Scott, but before that came Mortgage Marketing Animals, right? The company we work with, I'm in part of what's called the Freedom Club. And they would, we started sending out cards, but instead of I like me, we'd use the Facebook thumbs up, thanks, whatever, but it was so simple. He would just keep in contact using referrals from people, and he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for something. Now, I wouldn't have wanted to make my living selling cars, but hey, that was his thing. But the principle's the same, isn't it? The principle is the same. You have to use, people's, that's why we keep in contact with our database. There is nothing you guys will use, okay? We'll talk about this a little later, but nothing you will use, it'll be more important than keep in contact with your database. So Facebook, birthday videos, all these export contacts. You guys know what Cove is? Ever use that? Find the apps on either on the Apple Store code COVVE. Okay, you can export your contacts in your phone right to an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV to put into Excel. Everything right automatically does it. Okay. Right, so that, and then your sphere, obviously, open house. When you guys do open houses, do you go knock on people's doors when you're doing open houses, the neighborhood?
So we teach our agents to do. Do we
Okay.
do it?
I will tell you that not everything on here do I do as well, but I do the majority of it, right? Okay. There you go. Bizbos. Now, when I say other agents listed, I'm not talking about trying to steal them, okay? But what about when people post, other agents post things on Facebook or social media? Why not share it? I have my agents do that all the time. I say, hey, do I have a buyer out there that like this property? So I saw that the first time when Scotty put it down, I'm like, other agents listing, can't do that, that's illegal. But no, that's not what he's talking about, sharing them.
Can I
Yeah.
share on that?
Yeah.
So when Jeff was a brand new agent, he actually went to one of the biggest agents in the area and asked him if he could advertise his listings. A brand new agent, and he was just thinking outside of the box, and he did that, and he was able to get, business that way.
Yeah.
So that's another way of advertising other agents' listings.
Totally, and I see there's something over there. 2000 Rookie of the Year, Jeff, was that part of it, Jeff? Doing that?
Yes, it was.
Rookie of the Year over there.
He was
Okay.
good.
All right, so branded clothing, all that kind of stuff. We have our stuff, branded giveaways. I have a business card menu. You see it on my truck if my truck wasn't so dirty right now.
And then on the side.
Yeah, customer appreciation parties. Okay. Virtual gift exchange. This is part of one of the websites we want you to check out is Fresh Agent Marketing. And then the last part is just freshagentmarketing.com/David-Duke. You can go in there and look at these and this virtual gift exchange 59 ideas. It's talking, I looked at it the first time and said, this isn't anything about gift ideas. What it was were were agents, when Scott Hudspeth does his agent call, he does group coaching on Wednesdays, agents across the country join in on a Zoom call. And he just said, hey, what are your best ideas? What are the things that you doing that are bringing you business? And then they decided, okay, those are our gifts to each other. Okay, and so that's what that is, the virtual gift exchange, 59 ideas. Digital business card, how many of you have a digital business card? It's easy, okay? Okay, now, all of these things we got here from a place called Brevet Group, that do basically, study all these things with email, okay? Almost 40 times better at acquiring customers than Facebook and Twitter. How many of you have an email thing, account like on a Constant Contact or something like that? Okay, I love Constant Contact. This is not a shameless plug. I do use them. But I love them because one of the things that it does is when we send out emails to do invites to these webinars that Scott holds on Tuesday and personal coaching he does on Wednesday, the group coaching he does on Wednesdays, is it sends out an email as an invitation. And then anybody who did not open that email, it sends out a reminder email the next morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, or whenever I set the time for them, and I don't have to do a thing with it. And the open rate doubles, almost always doubles. Okay, the next day. Okay, they don't open the first time, but they open up the next time. Okay, so. All right. 92% of all customer interactions happen over the phone. Guys, I'm going to say this over and over again. You will never replace getting on the phone and talking to people. I'll say that again before we ever go. We'll go through all of these really quickly because I know we won't have a ton of time. Conversion, these are just ideas, they're all in the book. Okay. Assume. That's the one thing I've gotten better at as I go along. If somebody's going to take time to talk to me, I'm going to assume we're going to do business. It's all in your attitude. Okay, I'm going to assume that they're going to do business with us. Okay, but salespeople who actually seek out and exploit. I don't necessarily like the word exploit, but you know what they're talking about. Exploit referrals earn 4 to 5 times more than those who don't. 91% of customers say they give referrals, only 11% of sales people ask for referrals. Ashley, have you asked for referrals?
You just ask.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
It's like, how do you get reviews? You just ask.
You just ask, but they don't. Your competition does not ask for referrals. They don't. Okay. And in beginning of it, end of it, every time we make a call to our pre-approved and looking, our pals, every time we make a call to it's what we call our just ask calls. Okay, when we're calling the title people and everybody else, how are we doing? Are we doing a good job for you? Great. We know they're most likely to give you a referral is after what they call a moment of gratitude. Okay. And you actually ask for that. How are we doing? Are we doing okay? Are you satisfied? Of course, you better be doing okay. Right? Yeah, I really appreciate it. Really. Well, if that's the case, will you do me a favor? Be on the lookout for other people. Or do you know anybody who's doing this right now? These things are not hard. Or you probably have a lot of people tell you this stuff, but you just have to be a reminder. Okay. Only 13% of customers believe a salesperson can understand their needs. That surprise you?
No, nobody trusts salespeople.
They don't. Well, how do you get their trust?
By earning it.
By earning it. I love this. Are you part of their lives? Okay. It's all about having a relationship with the people that we work with. Someone asked me once, Dave, what is your motto in business? What do you think about doing business? What do you always go back to? I guess you'd call it my motto. And it's treat every person like you'd want your grandmother to be treated. I don't know about the rest of you, but I love my grandmother. Okay, my maternal grandmother, my paternal grandmother died when I was 2. Okay, but I love my grandmother. Okay, she would do fun things like, "Hey, Dave, would you like a bowl of raspberries and cream today?" Yeah, that'd be great. Guess what she asked? What happened next? Well, they're out there in the garden. Go pick them. I had a great relationship with my grandmother. I wish Josh would have known her. She was deaf. One time she was 18. She had spinal meningitis, went deaf. Okay. but she was good at reading lips. ASL was not a thing back there. She did like British Sign Language, both hands and all that. And I learned a little bit when I was a kid, but she's really good at reading lips, which also meant if she didn't want to talk to me anymore, she just did this. But I had a great relationship with her, and so that has been my thing in business. I treat everyone like they are my grandmother and how I want her to be treated. And that's how you get people to trust you. Okay, and it can't be artificial. It can never be artificial. Okay, so you've got to look inside of you and figure that out. Okay. This is what Josh was talking about. Getting current customers is 6 to 7 times less costly than acquiring new ones. Okay. Whole bunch of them here. You guys can look at them as we go through, get through a little quicker. Then we go to follow up. We get emails. In Fresh Agent Marketing, that's the other thing you're going to find. They have new emails for every month. They come up with new emails to send things out. Okay. Weekly Facebook interaction and engagement. There are things also in Fresh Agent Marketing. If you don't have ideas for social media, we've got a place that you can go for. What do they call it? Charge $5 a month? $5 a
Well, you
month.
can buy this like it's like a kit that gives you like 7,000 plus like parts and pieces of the social media kit. It's like $20. Or you can subscribe $5 a month. And it's this lady, and she sends out a social media post. I think you can edit it like in Canva or whatever, but she'll send you something to you every morning that you can post on social media if you want to. So
Okay, a lot of people know about send out cards. There's another one called Mailbox Power. If you're going through your Facebook and just instead of posting something, you guys all know you can call on Facebook too, right? Video call.
I've done that a few accidental.
If you actually did an accidental one to someone I know in Ecuador. That was I hadn't talked to them in 20 years, So and I decided once it started ringing, I was like, I'm gonna keep it going. Listen to the answers. So, okay, video calls. Okay, relationships, some way. We make phone calls all the time and call, right? But try it on video. See what that does to your relationships. Okay. More stats. You guys all have seen these. Okay. 8% of sales require 5 follow-up calls. 44% of sales reps give up after 1. Okay. I'm not sure where that came from the last one, but hey, I'll put it in there because that's what they said. Thursday's the best, Wednesday's second best.
If you believe it, it will be true.
Exactly. Yeah, we're saying you're reality. We're saying you have to make some phone calls to say hello. Okay. Call to action, same thing. Create a referable experience. You'll notice I had that on, we've had that on twice. Create a referable experience. That's where your business is going to come from. Okay, and this is what we'll train yourself to work for and listen for moments of gratitude. When you can ask somebody, how are we doing? Are we doing okay? Are we doing something that will help you out? And if they say, yeah, we're so appreciative, then that's when you ask for the referrals, right? That's when they're most likely to give them to us. Is this hard? It shouldn't be. Some people it is, but it shouldn't be. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to create, I don't want to be that guy that got me into the mortgage business who was the impetus of me going in and saying, oh, just get them for the highest interest rate you can get. Yeah. Just so you know, it's no longer a business. Okay. Right. Go back there. We put that on there. Things we put on there twice, it's because we think they're important. Okay. Asking for referral scripts. Do you have scripts? How do you ask? Okay. Actually, it was right. You just asked, but there we can share with you particular scripts that work. Okay. All right. This is part of it. May I ask you a favor? May I count on you? Get their commitment. Okay. All right. Josh was going to go over. So that's a lot of stuff we do, and there's some ideas, but Josh is going to go over this part. As far as the perfect agent we outlined.
So obviously those are just like the principles of doing business, conversion, follow-up. Those are things you have to have and keep in mind as you do business, but this is the meat and potatoes of what we wanted to talk about, is that this is an outline of, again, a pretty basic formula of these are the actions you can do every day, and it's Monday through Friday, that will start to drive traffic and help you grow your business. So we're just gonna go over these one by one. So obviously follow up with any leads that come in over the weekend. And this whole entire list, this whole thing shouldn't take more than probably a couple hours. And some of these things can be automated as well. So yeah, follow up with any leads that come in over the weekend. Pick a strategy from the virtual gift exchange to kind of implement for the month. That's that list that's on Fresh Agent Marketing that we can get you guys access to. There's a lot of really interesting ideas, a lot of fun ideas.
It's absolutely free.
Yeah, all this is free. This is stuff that we have gotten access to by partnering with Scott and Fresh Agent Marketing that we will purpose to provide stuff to agents. So, and then the sending an email to your database, again, we kind of mentioned the monthly emails that they have on their list in their vault. And they have a lot of different resources, things like that you can use and implement. They have a whole list of things that if you want to, and then the tracking the opens and clicks on any CRMs that you have, because then that tells you who opened it, and then it gives you a warmer phone call, right? Next time you talk to them, and say, bring up whatever, like, hey, did you get my email? And then that they did, that they saw it, and it's not this awkward, oh, I didn't, oh, sorry, I've had those before, not fun. So this is the biggest one right here. This is the thing that probably it could take 1 to 2 hours. The biggest chunk of that whole entire list is conversations with anyone that is picking up the phone. Nothing's going to replace that. And when you talk to someone, you're going to talk what we call FROG, your family, recreation, occupation, and goals. You don't even have to talk about business, especially if it's a past client. They already know. They know that you help them buy their house or sell their house. You don't have to mention business. Just you calling and staying top of mind. They remember that you helped them with their house. You don't even have to talk about it. You just talk about what you enjoy talking about, which is family. Your recreation, your goals. Things like that. If they don't answer, send them a text. Any calls that come back to you, call back ASAP and have a warm referral plan like we talked about, just ask, right? Having some sort of script, doesn't have to be, some robotic sounding thing, but at least they call it conversation by design, right? Having a goal of at least something that you want to say by the end of it. And then again, once you get a moment of gratitude, you ask for a referral, and then if you have Calendly or something like that, something that'll keep track of your appointments. Every time I finish a phone call, if I have an appointment set up after that, I input it in my phone real quick and I move on to the next call, right? It takes 5 seconds. And this is another one, 20 to 30 likes, comments on Facebook. Anyone that you know, or anyone that knows you from your Facebook list, from your group of friends, right? And that's another thing that, continue to keep top of mind. I love it when I have a friend, his name is Luke. And when I first got into the business, I would post things on social media, like you do. And he liked every single one of them consistently. Maybe one of the first ones. And, I obviously have had a good relationship with him before, but the fact that he did that, not only am I grateful for that, but now if I ever needed anything in his line of work, I would reach out to him, and that he sees my stuff. And he'll probably be the one to reach out to me, right? So it's that simple. If you get a ding every day or every other day when you post something, that person, notice when that person consistently is, liking or commenting on your stuff. And then some other personal things that you can do just to keep your mind, and your body, kind of give yourself a relax, a little bit of break, right? Make sure you're doing some exercise, listen to a good book, listen to music, right? And this 1 to 2 person or in-person or Zoom appointments that you've scheduled, right? It's part of the purpose of your calls is to, set up appointments, things like that. Make sure that you've got the business coming in. Send your thank you cards every day. And we do this, we do this 1 day a week that we send out our, cards to referral partners, past clients, people like that, that we're involved in business with. You can use, some of these, programs that'll do it for you. And again, it's something you can automate to cut out time. And then call your referrals and thank them for the referral. How many times do we do that? That we get a referral from someone and then we don't call them back and say, hey, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. That could be a huge impact on that person that they're like, oh, I really helped that, I helped. Whoever it is, that realtor, that loan officer really helped them with their business and they appreciated it and they helped me.
One thing to note on that, I mean, some people, I've heard some people say, well, it didn't really lead to business, or I didn't close that deal, or they didn't use me. I mean, we need to reward the behavior of getting the referral. And so we got a habit of just writing them a handwritten note and putting a gift card in there and thanking them for the fact that they actually thought of us and mentioned our name, hooked us up with somebody. That's what gets rewarded right
Yeah,
there.
totally, absolutely. I did that, in fact, Jeff, I did that just last week.
Yeah.
Someone, for whatever reason, decided to use another loan officer. And it was really funny, he said, oh, by the way, I still love you, would you like me to leave a Google review? You didn't even use me, dude, but whatever,
Yeah,
Word of behavior, yes,
yeah, that's
exactly.
awesome.
And you continue to grow that connection with that person. It's great and that can lead to more and more business. Do it with family, that's obviously important, right? You've gotta, anything that's personal and business, they always bleed together, always. It's impossible to keep those separate, right? So if your business life is too hectic, it's gonna bleed into the family life. Right, and so making sure that you have.
Wouldn't know what that's like. We leave it all at the office.
But if you've got a solid, structured, well-run business and you're happy in it, then it's not gonna, my father-in-law, like sometimes he runs a hardwood flooring business and he sometimes comes home and it is hectic and he's had a, crazy day, he's had to deal with clients and all the problems, things that happen, whatever, and then he comes home and man, you can tell what kind of day he had sometimes. He's done a really good job of hiding it, but when he's had a good day, you can tell that it was a good day, right? So, but it's important to set that aside, but he always makes that time for family, right? And his business has definitely been better for it. And then again, you're keeping that time on the throughout your day, making sure you have that time blocked for appointments if you go, right? So again, this is not a super in-depth list. This is a very basic, but there are things that work, right? Again, nothing's gonna replace picking up the phone, connecting with, that's the whole purpose of this, is making connections and keeping connections with people, liking their stuff on social media, sending them cards, making the phone calls. And continuing those connections is what's going to, you're going to farm more warm referrals from your database. And that's the whole purpose. But if you look at this, obviously we've got on Tuesday, we also have the trainings from Fresh Agent Marketing that again, for free, that we have a sign up that we can send out that you can sign up, and it's on Tuesday mornings at 12 p.m. Eastern, so that's 10 a.m. here. An hour-long Zoom call, you hop on, and it's Scott Hudspeth and his team, and they talk about ideas. They have other agents that bring on their, ideas that talk about what works for them in their business. And it's a great way to get more ideas and things like that help you grow your business. Same thing on Wednesday, they have the group coaching as well, that's offered for free. And it's similar to the Tuesdays, but it's more interactive. That you can, there's a chat, it's through Zoom, you can talk to people, you share ideas with other agents, things like that, just more networking. But then looking through all these, if you've noticed, these lists are the exact same, right? And the reason for that is consistency. Nothing is going to be consistency. I can't tell you how many times me or I watch someone else try something new. They do it for 2 weeks. They're like, oh, well, that was garbage. That was no good. And they stop and they try something else. Stop. That's like Carl White. He's from the mortgage marketing. He's runs one of the most successful brokerages in the country as a loan officer, as a branch manager. He talks about this all the time. You can't. It's like trying to build a bridge across a chasm and getting 90% of the way there, but you have to get 100% before cash starts flowing. Right before business starts coming in. He's like, that's like getting 45%. And you're like, well, that doesn't work. Well, of course it doesn't work. You didn't make it all the way, you didn't try it for long enough, right? You got to be consistent about these things. And that is what always is going to bring in business, is consistency in the way that you do your business, the way that you connect with people, talk with them, and the way that you are marketing and doing your prospecting, right? So
Speaking of quotes, one of my favorites is consistency over time never fails.
oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna give you a perfect example of that. Am I up now?
You're out to,
Oh, yeah, it's real.
Let me give you an example of consistency. I was running our team, Mark is on vacation, I don't know if I should tell everybody, Mark, I didn't tell the team, Mark's in Maui right now. But he asked me to run our team meeting, and so I asked him, when we're talking about consistency, I asked Josh, today, I said, look, part of our Monday is 30 calls every Monday morning. And I said, Josh, how many calls did you make in the week that you were able to set the appointment with Lynn, so we have this opportunity today? Did you do at least your 30 calls? What was your answer, Josh? 70.
Wow, nice.
Okay.
What number was she?
She's in the top, she's one of the first ones.
Same answer.
I almost quit after that. That was my success today.
But we talk about these types of things that Josh was talking about automation. One of the things that I think is so important with doing this business, because you can get wrapped up in doing all of the little things, all the minutia, okay? What actions, activities do you regularly do in the business? Start naming out some stuff that a real estate agent does.
Just boring activities like
Yeah, what-
signs,
Whatever you
yeah.
do. What are daily activities that you do?
Not
Emails,
calls.
texting, answering
Showing
people
properties.
questions. Yeah, it's
Conversations,
constant.
meetings,
Like at least for
trainings.
me, it's a constant, but it's a constant just reacting.
Yeah.
But yes, when you have buyers, then you're out driving around, you're trying to make appointments, there's.
And trainings like should be on a regular thing. I think I hear a lot from agents. I haven't got time to go to that. It's like, you don't got time not to. I mean, this is your craft. You have to
Learn
learn
your craft.
skills, and you can always pick up one thing
Yeah.
from something like this that is gonna lead the business. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I've got one agent on my team. He could probably rattle off 10 deals he's done this year,
Mhm.
specifically linked to a training, a talking point, and a
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Connection.
100%.
But most people will be wanting to do these busy things you're talking about
Uh-huh.
and not get better at
Because
their
it's
craft that way.
I will tell you that you will never meet a bigger control freak. However, when I started working with Carl White with Mortgage Marketing Animals, who where Scott Hudson broke off from. He had a conversation with me. I went to one of his things in Florida. And this was 10 years ago. I was doing okay, I was paying the bills. Josh and his siblings, which he has 5, they weren't going hungry, okay? But we started talking and he said, Dave, and this is back, you're doing 3, 4, 5 deals a month, maybe, okay? He said, Dave, what would you do if you were doing 10, 12? I looked at him and said, I have no idea, because I don't know how I control that. And he looked at me and said, you don't, you idiot. Okay, that's why you build a team. What actions can be cut off? Okay. We've got that whole list, right? List of activities, and this is just some we put in there. How many of them are actually money-making activities? You can say all of them, because they all have to be done, but which ones are actually money-making activities?
Someone's on your daily list.
Let's say anything that has to do with the personal connection with the client, a conversation.
Yeah. How much of the rest of it could be automated? Could be done. The best thing I ever did, we talk about the Duke team with the remarkable home loans. It's actually really is, because I have 2 others that aren't even here. Okay. My daughter-in-law, my oldest son's wife, Michaela, she's my loan partner. Okay, hired her a couple of years back. She's fully licensed. But when somebody calls me, says, hey, I'd like to apply, that's great. You talk to them, develop a little bit of relationship. What we're talking about. By the way, Michaela, my loan partner, will send you the link, the application link, the list of documents we need. I don't even touch the file after that. I just don't even touch it. I know what's going on because we have calls twice a week. I'm always in the loop, and I'm the one talking to the client, about Well, what am I talking to the client? Okay, the just ask calls, okay, that we do every week, giving them an update and those types of things. Okay, but that allows me to do this stuff. If I don't have to worry about the minutia, and the first time I did it, Carl talked me into it, I said, I can't afford that. He said, Dave, you can't afford not to. Okay, so make sure that you have anything that you can take off your plate that is not making you money, that is not a direct thing to make you money, get it off your plate. Okay, I promise you that once you start, you might not be able to afford it now, truthfully, right? Okay, but as you start doing these activities and building your business and doing 1 to 2 to 3, even 3 to however we want to do, okay, once you can afford to do that, taking these things off your plate will allow you to bring in more business. Okay. What actions can be delegated, automated, or eliminated? Okay, now here's the fun part. Last part of your book. And anybody who's on the Zoom call and wants to get a piece of paper, whatever, Carl does this with the people in this Freedom Club. We go meet every 3 months. The next one's in Puerto Rico. We did one in, we've gone to San Antonio. We meet here every 3 months. There's about, probably 400 or 500 of us. And we meet together and he does this at the end of every meeting. Even though we've done it 3 months ago, we do this because you won't do what you don't see in front of you. Goal setting is not some just pie in the sky thing. If you actually look at it and make sure that you're following it. So what we do, number 1, single activity that makes you the most money. Okay. Activity to stop doing yourself. Just pick one that you do that is not making you money, that you can delegate, that is part of the process that you could delegate or even eliminate.
Something that's keeping you probably too busy, keeps you from doing that single activity.
Yeah, keeps you from doing the Monday through Friday.
Sometimes we really like to be busy, but not.
That one should have more line.
It should have. It should, but you can go above page before start scratching out. Okay. Where are you today? Where do you want to be in 12 months?
So this goes on the whiteboard.
Yeah, yeah. We actually, in the meetings with Freedom Club, what we do is we actually, we have the big sheets of paper with Sharpie markers, and we were gonna bring that in here today, but we're like, well, let's do it, But we actually tape them to the wall in the hotel where we're at, wherever, they always bring out those ones with the soft cushion walls and everything. And we put them up on there so everybody around us can see it, what we've done, what we want to do, and what's the 90-day goal to make sure we're congruent with 12. Okay. And we put it out in front of it, and then we take that home with us. Mine's up on my wall. Okay. And we do that every 3 months to make sure that we're doing that. Okay. So I would suggest that you do something like that. Okay. As a team, together and do your goal setting, but in a big, huge piece of paper that you can see. Okay.
I like breaking it down into quarters. A good book that goes with that is the 12-week year. Mapping out your quarters as if it's a year.
Exactly. Okay. You guys want to do look clear, or this will bring up, we can send you the perfect agent outline, fresh agent marketing sign up. Remember, all that is free. There's nothing you're not going to get charged for it. There are ideas in there that, and none of them cost all that much. There are ideas in like the social media and things like that. But we appreciate the time that you've allowed us to be here. I appreciate Josh because it was his 70 calls that got us here. Okay. But if you guys have any questions, if you reach out to us, here's the thing with this fresh agent marketing. I'm going to tell you this right now. This is my attitude towards this. If you have other loan officers, maybe we've been standing up here and you've been, that Josh is a good looking kid. That other guy is a dork, man. So we've got people we work with. I don't care. You can share the fresh agent marketing with your loan officers. Okay. I don't care. The more we help, I have subscribed to Zig Ziglar. Okay. If I want to get what I want, I like help other people, as many people as I can do what they want. Right. Okay. And if that means he says all the time. Look, man, it's sort of like
business model you need.
it really is. It really is. And there's a saying, and people say this all the time, that there hasn't been any original literature in the English language since Shakespeare. And has there been any original business stuff since Zig and Dale Carnegie? I'm not sure there has been. Okay. But appreciate your time. Thank you so much for letting us be here. Hope, if nothing, if you didn't learn anything new, maybe it was a reminder of stuff that needs to be done.
Hey, do you guys on Zoom want to unmute yourselves? Anybody have any questions, comments, takeaways?
Anything, far away.
Kathy, right here.
Is that Kathy? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was a few minutes late. I'm hoping, Jeff, you recorded this like usual. Yeah,
Yeah, we got you, Kathy.
I missed the first 20 minutes, so I apologize, but it sounds like it's really all good stuff and I took pictures, so. But,
We got you. We got you.
I can send
Thank
out
you.
a PDF of this.
Yes, we do.
I took a screenshot of the participants.
I'll put it in our Team Limitless Facebook group.
We have PDF of everything we do.
Yep.
So.
I love the QR code. I already signed up for the Perfect Agent Week outline. So thank you guys. It was a tremendous presentation, really professional, very slick, and
Leah, where
also
are you
just
at?
so helpful.
Where are you located, Leah?
I'm in Salt Lake.
Okay, we, like I said, there's a lot of stuff in there too, that just go through the whole thing, because the Perfect Agent Week was just one presentation.
Yeah.
Of they do, that they have in there. And Scott brings on just really experienced agents from across the country. So.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. And I always trust a redhead, so.
Just so you know, his mother is a redhead. And
My wife is pregnant and I'm praying that the little boy comes out red. Fiery red.
Yes, I pray too. The world needs
That's
more.
number 3 coming. So good. All right, well, appreciate it. Any other questions, anything,
Hey, while you guys are thinking about it, if you want to meet yourself, and one thing that I took away from this is, I like how we do this on Tuesdays, we do this on Thursdays, we do this on Wednesdays. Now you got to schedule around it, without looking at your calendar, what time blocks are already taken. That's why we do this every Wednesday at 11. It's the same place, same time, right? So that's a great takeaway. Just block out, and this is what you do. And think to yourself, we're talking about daily schedules, right? If somebody asks you, so what do you do to get business? If you can't rattle it off, well, my week looks like this, or my morning looks like this, what's your routine? Got to do a little bit of search in there and think about it. And what do you do? Are you being purposeful about your business?
an article I just read a couple weeks ago. It said successful people don't make lists. They time block.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Time chunks.
Yeah, time chunks.
If you're successful with a list, though, imagine how successful.
And I'm not saying, let's say, fix that, right? When I'm not talking about me, I'm talking Elon and some of those people, that's what they were talking about.
Well, and consider this too. I like the list. I mean, you could even go back on this. Well, you don't have the handout. He said, write down the things you can get rid of. Just go back a couple of pages and there's a checklist right there. Circle them on that previous slide.
Yeah.
Pareto's principle of the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of our activities produce 80% of our results and our success. That would be a really good exercise too. I would love to be more consistent at keeping my day on the 20%. Right.
That's exactly what the Acts of Freedom is about. That's what it's based on. You guys came up with that in Mortgage Market Animal and the Freedom Club. That's exactly what we base it on.
Super cool. Well, thanks, guys. You offered a lot of value, and I appreciate the additional value add with the QR code. Connect with these guys. Like they said, offering value without no expectations of anything in return is just a great way to run business. They understand. They're not. You're not going, oh my God, I'm so glad today's a lender. I don't have a lender, right? I haven't talked to one.
Never met
I
one.
don't know. We were talking before this training started, how it's all about relationships, right? I mean, we connect with who we connect with on an emotional level, a personal level. I was talking to Josh, maybe it's the same age group, that type of demographic, right? And so I don't always, but I used to think how other people already have an agent too, right? I know for a fact I'm going to be around longer than whoever that agent is right now. So I want to be number 2. Same thing is kind of what they're putting out here right now. It's like, hey, I know you're not going to use this, but I'm offering you some value anyway. So I really appreciate that. I mean, what a great value.
Well, and you don't know though, and that's exactly what I talked to Josh about, is we have brand new agents that are joining all the time. That- You know, it's an experience for her to see, okay, what type of people are out there, because she really resonates with the fact that, you know, you became a lender because you wanted to make sure that you were doing a great job for people and not taking advantage of them. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so you never know who's going to resonate with the presentation that you do. And also there's different situations where people will resonate with this lender, but they may not resonate with this lender. So no agent should just have one lender. I think that we should have lenders that we can match with our people, or even allow our people to make a choice. So that's how I do it. I read them, I listen to them. I don't just say, okay, this is what I want. Then I want what they want, right? So it's probably been a really great class for you. Do you have any questions? For them?
No.
Karen.
Love doing that to Carrie. Like,
He's never makes so much.
So 2 weeks ago, we were on our group call and Mark, from Markable, you know, he caught me off guard and he did the same thing. Dave, do you have anything you want to share with us, right? And for the first time in my life, I'm serious. And I looked at him and everybody else on the Zoom call, Mark, I got nothing. And he just looked at me, he was like, what? What happened?
It's kind of like when somebody asks you somebody's name and you know it, but because they just asked you and they maybe made a wrong suggestion. Isn't it Amy? And so now you got the, and you can't get that out of your head. Okay, so awesome. Thanks, guys. You guys, thanks on Zoom. I'm gonna go off script here a little bit because we don't have a sponsor that could make it today. So if you guys can stick around, I did order a couple pizzas. But it was easy to do on the phone. I also got some killer meals in the fridge if you want. But Nick saw this training on Zoom and showed up at my office. I don't know who Nick is. I just met him, but I've heard of his business before. So Nick, you're my unofficial sponsor today. Come on and tell us what you do.
Yay!
So
He's good.
you're not an agent. He's not an agent, but he's got a business that applies to agents and he knows you, right?
I met Josh months ago, actually, probably about six or 7 months ago.
So Josh made a phone call to Lynn, doing some network. That's what I'm assuming you're here, so I'm giving you some floor time. Jake, you're next. So tell everybody what you do.
Yeah, so we run a software called Pitch 59. Essentially what it does is it allows you to send your 59-second elevator pitch out to anyone, anywhere. But it's also really made to be a referral and networking tool. So we've incorporated ways to be able to send your 59-second elevator pitch out in less than 10 seconds as a referral, or for people to send it on your behalf through a 3-way introduction as a referral to somebody else. But it's a lot warmer because you get to come to life directly to the person with your pitch, but also with all the information that they would need for a full introduction of who you are. So really, it's just a great way for them to be able to get your contact information, you know, video testimonials of people you've worked with in the past, links out to all your social media, LinkedIn, website, your calendar can be attached to there so they can schedule appointments. But all of it just makes it so much more personal, so much more communicative, and really just a great way for people to get to know you in a deeper way right off the bat. So
What's the website?
so it's a website and an app. But the website is just pitch59.com and then the app is just pitch59. But yeah, this makes it super
Pitch
easy.
59.
That was exactly 59 seconds.
Oh.
I'm assuming your contact information is on that pitch 59.
On the website, no, but I can log onto this Zoom call really quick and just put my what we call like a pitch card. I can just put it on there.
Okay,
Yeah.
you don't, here, let me just send you.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, that'd be great, actually.
Hey, Jake, come on up here. Sweet. Sweet.
Hopefully I'm not like one of those things that I totally forget what I do and.
Didn't put you on the spot.
Yeah, so I am Jake with Fidelity National Title. I'm an escrow officer. I manage our office here in Draper, that's just right up the road. I have been with basically the same company of Fidelity for 15 years about. One of the owners, we used to be Vanguard Title, got bought out by Fidelity National Title. I've been with that owner, Louis Hammer, a lot of you know him since about 2006. So for a long time. I would say kind of what I specialize in, what my focus is on is number one, creating relationships. And then number two, creating a last really good impression for your clients at the closing so that when you want to go follow up with them for referrals, I want to be a big part in helping you get referrals because the more you succeed, the more I succeed. And so if we're a team and we work together in doing that, we all benefit, your clients benefit because they get their new home. Like we had an awesome closing yesterday that Carrie was
Like,
at.
I got to sit on that and you
Yeah.
did a great job.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and it's what makes me love my job. Like we closed some first time home buyers yesterday, and that is like my absolute favorite thing. I mean, I love all of them, but that's my favorite because they come in, they're excited, they're scared. And it's just kind of fun to be a part of it. So we would love to connect with you guys and help you in any way that we can. We just want to provide value and help you guys succeed.
Jake, put your phone number in the chat. Sir. Hey, guys, thanks for sticking around on Zoom. Good to see you all. Anybody got any last questions or comments? So if not, we'll cut you loose, let you get about your day, and we're gonna stick around here and network a little bit.
They need to have to put their video on.
Does that make any sense?
Leah's the only one.
Yeah. Yeah. Ashley was just saying, thank you, Leah, for putting your video on. She's sad, she can't see everybody. So.
Sad, I just think that.
I'm sad I can't see Ashley. Turn it around, Jeff.
Oh, sorry,
Hi,
I
everybody.
know.
Hi, everybody.
Here's the crew. Yeah.
There's Shayna. Yeah.
Hey,
Hi, guys.
see ya.
All right, love you guys. Reach out if I can do anything for you.
Bye.